Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Ajwritescrypto. This is one of my favorite shows to do, and this show is called No Sweat Bets. No Sweat Bets is when we look at every money-making opportunity on Polymarket and how we can, extract as much value as we can from things happening all around the world. That's the beauty of Polymarket. You can literally bet on anything. You can bet how many times will Elon Musk tweet next week? What will the weather be in London? Will the Pacers win the NBA Finals? You can bet on anything. And I've been having an absolute blast on Polymarket. Just this year, I've made over $200,000 sports betting. Most of that happened on Polymarket. And I want to it would be a shame to not talk about these opportunities. Yes, this is a crypto channel. I primarily am a crypto trader and content creator, but there is so much money to be made on Polymarket. And at the end of the day, that's what this channel is about, making money. Speaking of making money, let's look at what we just did yesterday. Florida, the Panthers won the Stanley Cup. We've been killing. We put $12,000 on game 6. Everyone said, oh, it's going to game 7, going to game 7. I said, no way. The Panthers beat them last year. They're going to beat them again this year, and they're going to do it at their own house. They took the Stanley Cup at home last night, made $8,000 just like that. Bang, there we go. That's what I like to call a no sweat bet. All right, so let's look at Polymarket right now. There's a lot of really good money making opportunities. I mean, like, if you watch this video to the end, you will find something that makes sense that you can make some serious money on. I've prepared for this video right here. This one's fire. All right, and what you'll see here when you get to Polymarket, there's a lot of stuff about Iran nuke in 2025, U.S. military action against Iran before July, 68% chance of that happening. There's a Iran nuclear deal. There's a lot of stuff about the war going on right now. And one thing I want to talk about is every now and then you'll see a tweet. You need to follow Polymarket on Twitter because you will see tweets like this. Polymarket trader Fly Dart Ball joins yesterday. Since they've put over $500,000 on the U.S. striking Iran before July. It's the only, they signed up, they put $500,000 on, a little bit more, and that's the only thing they traded. That's the single bet they made for $500,000 that U.S. is going to strike Iran before July. And I don't want anything to do with that topic. I don't have an opinion on that topic. I want the world to find peace. Trust me. But when you see stuff like this, it makes you think, what does this person know? What does this person know? I will be really, really interested to see how this plays out from this angle. And that's really what it comes down to with Polymarket is what strategy do you want to deploy here? This is, when we talk about crypto trading, are you trying to hodl for years and years and years? Are you trying to stake your crypto? Are you putting your crypto to work? Are you a leverage trader? And if you're a leverage trader, are you looking for breakouts? Are you looking for head and shoulders? Do you only trade short? Do you only trade long? What strategy are you going to deploy here? And this is something I want to talk about on Polymarket because there are some strategies out there that have been working extremely well for some people. This guy, for instance, Odilo, he is only traded no. Oh, actually, I didn't mean to go to the page. He's only traded no. Oh, it's taking me to the thing. He basically, will Ethereum reach 4,000 in June? No. And he bought those shares at 97 cents, which isn't much money at all. Will Putin meet Zelensky? No. Will Ethereum hit all-time high before June 30? No, no, no. He basically bet no for everything above 90 cents. And has made more than $250,000 that nothing will happen. And, this is kind of a really solid strategy. Even this guy right here, there was basically, we all knew, and we talked about this on No Sweat Bets 2 weeks ago, that Jerome Powell, that there was going to be no change in the Fed at the next FOMC meeting. And that was today. There was no change. And the shares for no change was 98 cents. And so really, if you put $100 on that, you're going to make $2, right? I mean, that's not really much. But if you know something's not going to happen or something is going to happen and the shares are very expensive, this guy put $2.4 million and bought shares at 98 cents. He was correct, but because he bought the shares at 98 cents, he made $58,000. Although he had to risk 2.4 million to get there, it was a surefire thing. It was a no sweat bet. And that is something you got to think about on Polymarket. Do you want to employ a strategy where you bet a lot of money on surefire things to make like smaller rinse repeat trades, or are you, taking real chances here? And that's just something I want you guys to think about, something I want you guys to chew on as we move forward through the show here. Something we talked about last week: who will win the Democratic nomination for New York City mayor? We talked about Andrew Cuomo and Zohran Mamdani. And at the time last week, Andrew Cuomo's shares were at 61 cents. We will know what happens with this by June 24th. We'll know. Andrew Cuomo shares last week were 61 cents. We said we were going to buy some Cuomo shares. We did buy some Cuomo shares, and now his shares have gone up to 80 cents. That's a 31% increase, 31.1 actually. And and this is the beauty of Polymarket. You don't need to know who wins or doesn't win. If you buy your shares at 60 and they go to 80, you can sell at any point. At any point, you can sell during games if you want to. If say you bet on a hockey game and the team you bet on gets a 2-point lead and you don't want to risk the other team coming back, you can sell your shares. Say you bought your shares at 30 cents, you can sell your shares at 60 cents and you doubled your money. That's the beauty of Polymarket. You are not locked into these bets. You can you can sell the fluctuation of your shares just like a crypto coin. And Andrew Cuomo, the bet, yes, we talked last week, is up 31%. Do I think he's going to finish this out? Yes, I do. Even if you bought, say, $10,000 worth of these shares at 80 cents, you would still win about $2,300, $2,350 to be exact. So, definitely I believe that is a no sweat bet. Andrew Cuomo is a lock for me. Want to talk about the F1 Drivers' Champions. We talked about a little bit last week. We are definitely going to bet no on Max Verstappen. He is too far out to win here. If you put $10,000 on no there, you'd win about $1,200, but that is a no sweat bet. That is a lock. Max Verstappen will not win the F1 Drivers' Champion. The race is between Oscar and Lando. And the thing is that Oscar and Lando are teammates for McLaren. All right. And since no sweat bets last week, Oscar has actually extended his points lead against Lando. I think he's ahead 18 points now, which is a considerable lead. And there are 12 races left in the F1 Drivers' Championship. And honestly here, I like Oscar. I said I liked Oscar last week. If you were to bet $10,000 on Oscar to win the F1 Drivers' Champion, that would be $5,000. So you get about half your money. If you wanted to go with Oscar. I believe betting Oscar to win the F1 Drivers' Championship, that is a no sweat bet. Next one is really interesting. Which movie will have the biggest opening weekend in 2025? All right, so we have a Minecraft movie, Superman, Avatar, Zootopia, Wicked, and everything under that. The real race here is between Minecraft, Superman, and Avatar, in my mind. Why? Why is Minecraft at 50% for yes? Well, the movie already came out and it destroyed blockbuster records. It had $162.8 million in North America and $313 million globally, setting the record for the biggest opening weekend for a video game movie adaptation. Not to mention, this has been the largest movie opening weekend this year so far, and it's the largest April debut in Warner Brothers history. It's the best April movie ever made, is the new Minecraft movie. So now we have to ask ourselves, can Superman or Avatar do better than $162 million? And I'm going to say no, they can't. The original Avatar movie back in 2009, great movie, James Cameron does what James Cameron does, that only opened for $77 million that weekend. Avatar: The Way of the Water in 2022, also a really solid movie, only opened for $134 million. And yes, $134 million is very strong for an opening weekend, but that is still like $30 million behind what Minecraft already did. And do people care as much about Avatar now as they did before? Time will tell, but I do not think Avatar is going to surpass Minecraft. Also, Superman has had 4 opening weekends across history in 1978, 1981, 2006, and 2013. Back in 2013, when Man of Steel came out, that was open to around $116.6 million, which was the largest of all the Superman movies for opening weekend. So although, Superman and Avatar in the past have had $100 million weekends, Minecraft had $160+ million weekend, and I will be betting yes for this. The thing with bets like this is that if you have to wait to the end of the year for this to close. Obviously after Superman comes out, it will be a yes or no when that movie comes out, if it beats it opening weekend. Same thing with Avatar. So the shares for Minecraft will certainly increase during the year, but for this to close, you have to wait for the end of 2025. So this is more of a longer term type bet. But if you want to, buy Minecraft shares at 51 and sell them at 70 or 80 or whatever, you could do that on more of a flip, or just wait for the end of the year to get out at 100 cents. If you were to bet $10,000 for Minecraft, that would give you 1,300, but that does increase the overall volume pool. If you were to bet 5,000, you get 2,300 back. If you were to bet 500, you get 953 back. So, this isn't, the more money you put in, the less you get, because your purchase is increasing the shares. But I think Minecraft best opening weekend in 2025, that is a no sweat bet. Lock it up. All right, next we got to talk about the NBA. We have to talk about the NBA. Tomorrow, the 19th, Thursday, is Game 6 for Thunder and Pacers. I did notice there was kind of a correlation between the NHL and the NBA on when the away team won or when the home team won. And right into the end, they actually followed each other very closely with that pattern. So if the pattern continues, it would end with Game 6. The thing is that Game 6 is a home game for the Pacers. Will this go to Game 7? Let me be perfectly clear about this. I think OKC is going to win the championship. I really do. Statistically, they have it. They can draw fouls really well. Chet is one of the best big men in the entire NBA. I think this is a lock for the Thunder to win the championship. But for tomorrow night, I don't hate throwing $1,000 at the Pacers. It makes a lot of sense for it to go to Game 7. More people will watch a Game 7. Game 7 will go back to OKC, and OKC could win the championship at home if it goes to Game 7. They don't want to win a championship at not home. They don't want to win a championship in a building full of Pacers fans. I would not be surprised for this to go to Game 7 and for the Thunder to win. But I will say, I will be betting the Pacers tomorrow night. But what I'm saying about that bet is that it's not a high conviction bet at all. I'm completely okay if I lose my $1,000. This is not a no sweat. This is not a lock. Betting on the Pacers tomorrow is a straight up gamble. But I will be betting the Pacers tomorrow, although I believe deep down and know on a fundamental level that Thunder is a better team and they will very likely win the NBA championship. If you wanted to bet yes for Thunder to win the NBA championship, if you wanted to bet $10,000 on that, you would get $752 back. Really not that much money back. But this is a situation similar to the Jerome Powell thing from earlier in the show. If you were to bet $1 million that Thunder is going to win, that would get you $63.7 thousand back. So if you have the money to be able to make high conviction bets that are very likely, this would be a perfect example of when to do that. What I've been loving about Polymarket lately is how more involved the crypto aspect is here. Not only can you bet on what price Bitcoin will hit in June or what price Ethereum will hit in June, now you can bet on every single day. Bitcoin price right here. What will Bitcoin price be by June 18th at 5 p.m. EST? Obviously, today is already done. And there was over $580,000 in volume just for one day of betting. They do this every single day. So if you want to get involved in the what the happenings of the crypto daily price action, you can do that on Polymarket. Another thing I like about the crypto, will the Litecoin ETF be approved by July 31st? Will the Ripple ETF be approved by July 31st. I will go ahead and say no for both of these. I think they need a little bit more time to figure this stuff out. Wouldn't be surprised to see it by the end of the year, but I don't think we're going to see things happen by July 31st. If you bet $100 on that for Litecoin, you get $36 back. If you were to bet no for the Ripple one, bet $100, you would get $15 back. So these are smaller bets, but I don't think either of these things will happen by the 31st. Although Ripple ETF approved in 2025, not the month, but the year, I would say yes to this. If you were to bet $1,000 on that happening, you'd win $88. $100 to win 10. Obviously, a higher conviction thing, not a big multiplier here, but just talking about bets that I think are a sweat, are a lock. And to close the show out, I think this is actually pretty funny. What will happen before GTA 6? This pool has over $1.7 million here. A new Playboy Cardi album, very likely before GTA 6. The new Rihanna album, about 60%. Russia-Ukraine ceasefire, about 56%. China invading Taiwan. I don't think that's going to happen. I would say no to that one for sure. Bitcoin hits 1 million. I do not think Bitcoin is going to hit 1 million before before GTA 6. If you would have bet $10,000 on that, you get 11,300 back. That's a no sweat bet. Will Jesus Christ return before GTA 6? I cannot believe you can bet on this. And it has Bitcoin hitting 1 million, has $100,000 in volume. Jesus Christ returning has $600,000 pool. And if you were to bet no on $10,000, you'd win $1,500. I do believe in God. I am somewhat of a religious person. I do pray, but is the physical form of Jesus Christ going to return before GTA 6? I'm gonna have to. Sorry, guys, I'm gonna have to bet no here. And I think that's the easiest $1,500 you could ever make in your life. Lock it up. That's a no sweat bet. And Trump out as president, I would bet no on that one as well. So guys, that is all we got today for no sweat bets. Keep in mind, when I do my public bets, every time I do one, just like I did on Twitter with the Stanley Cup yesterday, I post my bet publicly before the game starts. And if I'm correct on my bet, I do a giveaway on Twitter where 1 or 2 people will win $200, $250. Sometimes I do $500. I'm more than happy to share my winnings with my audience. Since we're winning so much, I'm more than happy to give a couple $100 to someone in the audience. So stay tuned for those tweets when I do them so you can win yourself some free crypto. And guys, if you want to get involved with Polymarket, big sponsor of the channel, thank you to them for sponsoring this channel. If you want to get involved, all the links down below in the description. Guys, be safe out there. Have a safe rest of your day. Get rich or get wrecked. Lock it up. That's all we got for No Sweat Bets. Peace out. Boom.